good morning, buenos dias, bon dia, ma pirishamni, which is actually the Mayagna language in Nicaragua, and I'd like to recognize the Mayagna indigenous people, especially thinking of all the great work we've done together. And yesterday was World Indigenous Day, as many of you may know. I'm just going to talk briefly about our department and our major, and I think it's going to surprise some of you here listening, probably most of you, about how closely related and applicable, practical our major is, our program of study is when it comes to learning about climate change and doing something about this problem, about this enormous challenge that faces everybody and everything, every creature on this planet, okay? So I am chair of our department currently, and I welcome you guys to check out our major, Geography and Sustainable Planning, here at Grand Valley State University. Check out our courses and our certificates to see what interests you, what you can learn, what you'll experience, and the really important skills, the cool job skills that you will get, the cultural skills you can obtain from our program and what our program offers here at Grand Valley State University. So that the Geography and Sustainable Planning major, really consists of a wide array of courses that study topics directly related to this conference, such as climate change, equity and inclusion, biocultural conservation, and all to build a sustainable future. And this is because geography is an interdisciplinary major which examines how people live and interact in the environment, all across this globe. So we have courses in different emphasis areas in our major that study the environment and development, urban planning and sustainability, natural resource use, indigenous cultures and land use systems, computer mapping, satellite images, climate change, of course, and much, much more. And this is how our students obtain the skills to get great jobs, they really do, and become global citizens, and of course, local partners right here in West Michigan and in Grand Rapids. So those were broad topics that I just described to you, very broad topics. Let me give you some specific examples of some of our courses. Courses, for example, cities, communities, and villages. Land use planning, sustainability in place. Okay, these are introductory level courses that you need and are valuable to get you started so that you can go to a much deeper and higher level in our upper level courses. Courses such as transportation planning, very, very important globally, of course. Farmers, crops in our challenging agricultural world. World forests in our use. When I think of climate change, I can't stop thinking of forests on this planet all over the world. People, the environment and development in the Amazon, thinking of the Amazon and tropical forests when we think about climate change and climate change mitigation. Globalization and development, remote sensing and satellite image study courses from beginning level, introductory level, to middle and upper level courses. This technology is increasingly easy to use. It is vital, I think, for all of you who are interested in climate change, concerned about climate change, to get a basic understanding of geographic information systems, remote sensing and satellite image interpretation. And I think you'll be amazed when you discover what you can do with this technology, what you can learn, and how you can be a leader. You can really be a leader yourself, experimenting, playing around with this technology. This is how we learn, as well as getting the data directly from the ground outside or from the atmosphere itself. Again, we offer these courses at the introductory level. You don't have to have any prior knowledge coming in. And we have state-of-the-art computers and software. This is all free for our students here at Grand Valley. We're very proud to offer this technology and our computer labs here for our students. This is a real way for you to get involved with climate change. And of course, just better understand and truly understand what other experts in the field are doing, because you've already seen that they use this technology so often and it's so important to them. We have many different courses on climate change mitigation and adaptation, resiliency, and again, working towards solutions. And of course, in a minute, Elena is going to tell you much more about these specific courses and ways to study climate change here in our major. And I want to point out that many of these courses, all sorts of different courses in our major, involve neighborhood work, community work, right here in the city of Grand Rapids and in West Michigan as part of the class itself. And many classes offer field trips, field work assignments. These are quite common in geography. So you will be getting out and exploring, learning experientially, as they call it, with your classmates and with community members, because, as was talked about yesterday, and, will be, talked about again today, how can we combat climate change and what is happening to our planet if we're not working with our neighbors, our next door neighbors, our communities, people in the city of Grand Rapids, wherever you live, whatever part of the world you live in, we all need to work together at different levels to work on this serious problem, this challenge. This is the challenge for the future, and working with people is I think the best way to tackle this. And this is what we like to do in geography and as geographers. And related to that, our students do have many internships with all types of private companies, all sorts of different companies, private companies, public and community agencies, local cities and townships, the city of Grand Rapids, Michigan here, other towns, healthcare institutions, nonprofit sector. And of course, this is true globally. This is what geographers do globally, and geography students do this all over the world. Again, it's necessary to really learn and apply the knowledge you've gained to work towards solutions to these pressing problems. So I think you can see how geography courses in the major are connected to different topics, are interdisciplinary, and are fun. If we're going to work really hard to mitigate climate change and work on this problem, to be frank, I think we have to have a little bit of fun doing this. I worked a long time and continue to in rainforest conservation projects, especially in the Amazon and now in Nicaragua. And yeah, there's a lot of struggle, there's a lot of hard work, there's some hardship, but there's also fun and friendships and love that goes into this. Love of the earth, love of the environment, and love of humanity, your brothers and sisters, communities, the people you work with, the people you struggle with. This is going to be hard work. I think you're all aware of that, but we need to prepare ourselves. We need to persevere. We need to just keep working. And I think the interdisciplinary geography major just really prepares us for that and keeps us really abreast of changes and focuses on things that work and things that we're experimenting with, because we love to experiment, and we have to experiment. Sometimes we don't do so well. Sometimes we have really great results. I've been experimenting my whole life, and we'll keep on experimenting. A couple more things here before I turn it over to Elena. We do have certificates too here in our major, here in our program. So you don't have to be a declared major at Grand Valley State University. Maybe you're an adult learner or an adult that needs job skills, and you want to take 2 or 3 or 4 courses to get a certificate, let's say in sustainable urban planning. You can do that with our program, okay, rather than having to take a full course load as a declared major. We have certificates in environmental remote sensing, GIS technology, that's really computer mapping, and all the information you can get there and create there and get for yourself there on the ground. And of course, certificate. Elena will talk about this. Climate change mitigation and adaptation. So these certificates we think are valuable and important and fairly quick, rather quick ways for people to get skills they need to get better jobs and of course work on this issue of climate change, the pressing problems there. And many of you may know, more and more employers all over the world are requiring these types of specific certificates for college educated employees. They want you to learn more. They want you to be more qualified. And we feel these 5 different certificates we have really help prepare you for these environmental problems. Really, quite honestly, none of our students have trouble finding jobs in their field of study if they want to go into that field of study. There is great demand. There's not only great need, I think you all understand that, but there's great demand, which is good if you have the skills, and we're ready to help you obtain those skills here. I must mention summer field courses we have, which provide another great intercultural exchange, intercultural experience, study abroad. Currently, our Professor Wagendorf in our department has been taking students to the Netherlands for several years, and they're looking at these really fascinating, world-renowned, water management systems, series of dikes and dams and flood control, combating the rising ocean, unfortunately. But they have these technologies in the Netherlands, very old technologies and very, very modern cutting edge technologies, and also farming systems and manufacturing systems that are considered to be green and are, sustainable and are cutting edge technologies. You get to see all these on your field trip with Dr. Wagendorf. He's done this field trip virtually, and he's done it in the Netherlands. He's done both. So these are the type of things you can get involved with our major, and you can learn with our major, you can experience. We're ready to work with you. I think Lena's putting the photo gallery up there. We have a photo gallery. Check out our webpage, but we've got all sorts of different sets of photos from our experiences all over the world. We also have some videos on our webpage, quite a bit of material, and we want more. We want you to be on our webpage. We want you to be part of our program. So do visit us anytime here at Grand Valley State University, or visit us virtually, contact us via email. We can also talk via Zoom, with you anywhere in the world. We're happy to do that. We're right up here on the 4th floor of Mackinac Hall at Grand Valley State University, if you're able to make it here.
So Elizabeth is asking, do you have a rapid action student program to study and evaluate environmental disasters in lower Western Michigan? There have been many in the last decade, and there will be more. I don't know if, Jim, you want to maybe provide some comments about, what we have right now, the department's future plans. And then also, maybe at some point, we will give you a little tour of the website where you can find more information about those programs and courses.
Yeah, I'm looking in the chat here for the question. I don't know if I see that specific question.
So there's a Q&A. Do you have
a
Q&A?
There we go.
Yes.
Yeah, I can type an answer here.
Well, you can answer. You can answer with your voice. Yeah.
Sure. I think I'll do that. I don't know if you would call it a rapid student action program. However, we do have student clubs that have worked with this, and students that have participated with community work in lower income neighborhoods here in Grand Rapids, looking at street flooding and the conditions of housing in neighborhoods in Grand Rapids. But this is an excellent idea, and this is something that I think our students would be very interested in. I'd like to know more about Elizabeth, her program, what she knows about this. But again, if you're a student with us, these are the types of projects we develop with faculty and students. The need to respond to these problems. So we're very, very open to the idea, and would love to share more about these two different projects we looked at with neighborhood conditions in Southeast Grand Rapids, excuse me.
And I just want to add to this also that the disaster mitigation, we don't have an emphasis in disaster mitigation, but it's definitely a part of our urban and sustainable planning emphasis in geography and sustainable planning major, and especially in the climate change, in our newest emphasis on climate change mitigation, adaptation, and resiliency planning. As far as the clubs are concerned, again, Elizabeth, I don't know if you are here on campus or calling from outside of GVSU, we have a weather club that is also doing lots of work with, disaster tracking. Jim, do you want to give a quick overview of the website for the department, like where to find more information about those programs, and perhaps introduce, faculty pages and student resources? And then I can also take it from there and share some resources from the Climate Change Education Network, which is housed in our Department of Geography.
Sure. Are you able to show more of the webpage or scroll?
Yes. Where you would like me to go?
Maybe we go to home first. I mean,
okay.
We have, we have on the front of the webpage, we have, the different emphases and lots of links to the description of our course. And also, of course, we have Yulia Connolly right there in New York City. It looks like Manhattan. She's talking about her experience studying with us. And of course, as you know, Elena, she's been all over the globe working for the United Nations and other international organizations and organizations based right here in Grand Rapids. I think it shows some of the benefits of studying geography. So the front page of our webpage really shows the links to our different emphases in our major here. And then, we have the faculty webpage. We have student resources, which I think is interesting because we're always telling our students about, what they can get involved with. So these are our faculty. Probably got to add a couple more on there, but we try to keep it as updated as we can. So we're always active with our students, and our student club. If we hadn't had to switch at the very last minute from the keynote speaker, I think we would have our student club on here, right? Some of our student club representatives, because they're very, very involved. I know, Elena, you just returned from an activity last week, the Grand River Cleanup, which is this massive cleanup of the largest river basin in the state of Michigan. So our student club is very, very active and does all sorts of different activities. And under the student resources section, we have information about financial support for students, job and internship opportunities. We're always here to help with funding and scholarships, and I think our students have done very, very well obtaining funding and support, both from our department and from Grand Valley State University itself and other funding agencies. And they are heavily involved in conferences too. We're proud of that, and they've won a number of awards at conferences in many different places. So check out our webpage on the Grand Valley State University webpage, www.gvsu.edu/geography, and you'll come to us right away.
Thank you, Jim. There is another question coming to us from Jamie. And are there opportunities to travel to view these disasters in other areas, not including Michigan? And again, if you probably could share a little bit about our study abroad opportunities and other international opportunities or national opportunities.
Yeah, there certainly are. And there's funding for this too. There's a number of federal agencies and programs that would support this. Some of it would be going to do research about these disasters. And also some of it could be a field trip. For example, Professor Wagendorf in his field course to the Netherlands, they look directly at a long history of disasters, of flooding and ocean storms in the Netherlands. You know, we get our information here in the United States mostly about storms in Florida and Louisiana and the hurricane belt, but the Netherlands has a long history of these disasters. And thank you for showing this study abroad page on the Netherlands. I know Cody has a really great video there, Elena, about the Netherlands trips. I think that's a great trip, and there is support to go on these types of study abroad and field courses. There's always support there if you if you make an effort to look for it. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Jim. Unless there are any immediate questions to Professor Penn about the geography program, I would like to take a moment also to share more specific information about our offerings related to climate change. So I'm going to share my screen again. And we will go to, all of you are familiar perhaps with the page of GVSU Climate Change Education Solutions Network. I don't know if all of you know that it is housed within Geography and Sustainable Planning Department. Geography is our major sponsor, along with the College of Liberal Arts and Science and many other supporters. And so I wanted to share this page on my screen, and I'm also going to drop this into the chat. But again, if you have registered for the conference, you have been on this page already. There are lots of resources here related to climate change. And since we are talking today about the offerings within the Geography and Sustainable Planning Department, I also, and many of you are students, either at Grand Valley or prospective students, I wanted to share specific information about our planning degree focusing on climate change mitigation, adaptation, and resiliency. So these have been now around for, Jim, I think about 3 years, right? And we started just before the pandemic, and it became immediately, our second most popular emphasis, the second after geospatial technologies, which is of course GIS, remote sensing, and cartography. And this is the area where there are so many jobs are available right now. And so the emphasis on climate change mitigation, adaptation, and resilience is really focusing on building resilient communities. We know that mitigating climate change is extremely important, and climate action is very important, and reducing emissions is very important. But we really need win-win solutions, because mitigating only is not enough. We need to live our lives. We need to have prosperous present and future. And this is why adaptation strategies and resilience strategies are becoming extremely important. When you think about renewable energy, we need also to think how this renewable energy is fitting into urban infrastructure. When we're thinking about the use of various resources within the city, again, we need to think about all those connections between the quality of life and community health and the reduction of emissions. So this program is exactly about this, about how we can not only focus on climate action and reduce our emissions, but also to adapt urban and regional planning and land use planning strategies in improving the quality of life in our communities, and also how we can use geospatial technologies in order to inform ourselves about to collect data and how we can inform those future decisions of planners related to climate change. So if you are students or prospective students, please take a look at this opportunity with us. And of course, we have also lots of resources related to climate change education for the community. Those of you, again, who are new to this web page, please check our curriculum resources and especially the videos. Climate Change Education Solutions Network has its own YouTube channel. And you can also find here all presentations from the previous summits. This is the 4th year of the annual conferences, and all the previous stories from the speaker series and the previous conferences can be found here. And please feel free to share them within your networks. Also wanted to quickly remind about our Ask an Expert program here at Grand Valley, when you can engage with individual faculty in various departments, from English to biology and geography, of course, and geology and classics and natural resources management and political science and Annie's Water Resources Institute. And we are all your guest speakers. So if your organization, if your school needs to have a speaker on any topic related to climate change, or if you want in any other way to tap into expertise that Grand Valley could share with you, we're here for you. This speaker bureau is absolutely free for schools and local organizations who want to learn more about climate change and climate solutions. Of course, we host this annual climate summit every year. This is the 4th summit. And if you are interested to watch the highlights from the previous programs are here. And I especially would like to highlight our program for schools, Michigan Resources for Climate and Land Change Education. So Miracle is the program that we started 3 years ago now. So this is the 3rd year of the program. And this year we are focusing specifically on linking virtual data with outdoor hands-on experiences. This is the project of Climate Change Education Solutions Network, and it's sponsored by Michigan Space Grant Consortium. As we started it in 2020, we first had our first year was focusing entirely on the science of climate change. And so you would find lots of resources and videos. And if you join the program, we would actually share with you significantly more resources than what you see on our website, because we also have a parallel intranet, Blackboard, learning online learning system for all teachers who participate, teachers and community members who participate in Michigan Resources on Climate and Land Change Education. During the 2nd year of the program, we were focusing on connections between climate change and environmental justice. And again, we have lots of resources, including lesson plans that we have developed during the 2nd year of the program. And so this is the 3rd year of the program, focusing on connections between outdoors experiential learning and online learning. We all have learned so much during the 2 years of the pandemic. And of course, so much programming has happened during the last 2 years with development of online resources. So it's not too late to join Miracle. The registration is still open. If you are an educator, if you are an outdoor educator, if you are a K-12 teacher, or perhaps you are fellow faculty at Grand Valley or another university, anywhere in the world really, you can join Miracle. And although our program is primarily focusing on Michigan content and our lesson plans that we are developing are focusing on Michigan content, the concepts are really applicable for anyone, anywhere around the world. And you are all very welcome to participate. I wanted to introduce our Miracle team. And those are all our department's former students. So Leah Anderson, for example, who have been working with me this summer on development of these lesson plans, and also the climate CCESN documentary is our alumnus. She graduated from our department 2 years ago, and then she rejoined us again this year. And then now she's a graduate student at the University of Denver, pursuing Masters of Environmental Policy at the GU. Sam Bonzer, another very recent alum whose focus was integrative science, and he has been working with us developing those lesson plans. Dedrick Courtney was our Climate Change Education Network Fellow from Western Michigan University, where she's finishing her PhD. Kristen Davis, Kristen and Leah Anderson will be tomorrow with me on the 9 a.m. webinar, Introducing Climate CCESN. She's another Grand Valley student, and she is majoring in film and video. And she has been working for the past 2 years with our department as intern. And she has been working with me as a research assistant through the Michigan Space Grant, collecting those video stories that we are sharing with you. And so Christine also will be introducing tomorrow Climate CCESN, where you would also meet Professor Lindala, who couldn't talk to us today. Of course, I want to especially acknowledge work of our advisory board, who are all teachers. They're all high school teachers here in Michigan. Kurt Risley, who is teaching environmental science at City High. And Jim, I just realized another connection, right? Your daughter must be a student of Kurt Risley. And Tricia Sprague, who is education coordinator for Inland Seas education program. You would also see Tricia tomorrow in the screening of Climate CCESN documentary. This is a wonderful environmental organization with whom we partner. They are based in Satins Bay, about 15 miles west from Traverse City in northern Michigan. And it's a outstanding environmental program providing so many resources for schools. So we have been sponsoring last year through our Michigan Space Grant field trips for schools, and we would be very happy to support your school if you are joining Miracle and connect you with this organization and make this field trip happen for your students. Cody Tamavongsa, we saw earlier his video on the Netherlands. He has been also partnering with Climate Network for a number of years. And of course, our dear colleague Janet Vale from Environmental Studies Program and Annie's Water Resources Institute. Kristen Webster, who is another member of Miracle Advisory Board. She is a teacher at Hudsonville High School, very close to Grand Valley, and Kariana White, who is also a great environmental science and biology teacher at Jenison High School. So they are the members of advisory board and very active members of Miracle team. And I want to emphasize that Miracle is really an online teaching and learning community. It's not just a kind of set of programs or courses that you need to take. It's a learning community on GVSU learning platform, which is a Blackboard, and you would receive the password for it if you log in and password if you join the program this year, and then you would have access to many more resources. So if you are thinking to join Miracle this year, please enroll in 22-23 programming, and the entire year would be dedicated to outdoor experiential learning. So this is where to find more information. And of course, if you have any questions right now, both Professor Penn and I would be very happy to take your questions right now. And I also want to remind that we have a number of CCS events going on today. So if you are planning to attend more events this afternoon, I strongly recommend to join at 2:30 for the presentation of Denise Kill. She's the new director of Michigan Climate Action Network. Until this year, she was also professor of political science and environmental studies at Western Michigan University. And I have 2 panel discussions this afternoon on air pollution, climate change, and public health with Kendra Wade, who is coalition coordinator for My Air and My Health, and Darren Riley, who is a co-founder and CEO of Just Air, and they will share their expertise related to air pollution, climate change, and health. And then at 5:30, we have another roundtable online roundtable, another panel with John Strait, Peter Bogart, and Dennis Ichabod. And they would share more opportunities to engage in the local projects with Grand Rapids and Holland Citizens Climate Lobby chapters. And of course, we have heard about Citizens Climate Lobby yesterday also from Lisa Del Buono. So finally, if you are attending tomorrow, please engage with us at 9 a.m. There will be a live session online with Christine Davis and Leah Anderson and I, and we will share our experience of traveling this summer in Northern Michigan, collecting really interesting climate change impact stories, but most importantly, climate resilience stories. So you would learn about the experience of North Michigan wineries adapting to climate change. We would hear from climate activists in the Upper Peninsula and climate work conducted by inland seas in the Southern Bay. So lots of opportunities to learn more about what is happening in Northern Michigan. And we will release tomorrow Climate CISO for the preliminary preview on YouTube. It's going to be available through the weekend, so you can watch this 30-minute preview. We are continuing adding more stories, so this is not the final version. We have several interviews with urban planners and climate adaptation activists and climate action activists in Northern Michigan, climate adaptation planners that are still going to be gradually joined. And so the final release of this video is scheduled at the end of this semester, at the end of the fall semester, and it's going to be published on YouTube and on our website. So the sneak peek is going to be this week, and I really hope that we will see you there. And finally, the last but not the least, I also want to remind that this Thursday, we would have our virtual exhibit Sustainability Around the World. Those of you who are from Grand Valley probably remember those exhibits as poster sessions being held in Henry Hall, usually featuring work of GPY 101, Sustainability and Place students. And so this year we are doing this exhibit virtually. And so you would have, again, a sneak peek of some of the student work that will be shared through Google Drive. And this is going to be available only tomorrow. So this is a 24-hour exhibit showcasing GPY 101. So GPY 101 is a 1-credit course. We have 2 1-credit courses that are available absolutely for everyone, offered through Geography Department. They're both asynchronous online. There's a short 6 weeks courses. One of them is Sustainability and Place. The other one that we are offering during the second half of the semester is GPY 112, Global Climate Crisis. Again, this is asynchronous online class, lots of visualization, lots of online interaction in both classes. So this is another great opportunity to engage with our department.